Welcome back to my channel where we share with you the most amazing stories on the dark web. Today, we will tell you about an illegal alien who is going against the entire American financial system. You may be wondering what this person could possibly have planned that would cause so much damage to the U.S. economy. Well, his plan was simple but effective. He infiltrated one of the largest industries in the United States. And now people are starting to realize just how dangerous he is. Before we get into the details of the story, make sure you hit that like button if you're new here. Now let's begin. From South America to the USA. The man we are talking about in this story is called Carlos, and he was born in Venezuela. In the early 2000s, Venezuela wasn't as dangerous as it is now. So young Carlos decided to cross the border into America for a better life. He entered the country illegally and didn't know anyone there. Being an undocumented immigrant, he couldn't apply for jobs or open bank accounts, but he managed to survive by doing odd jobs and panhandling. This went on for a few years until the Great Recession of 2008 when things got really tough. Carlos was barely scraping by, just like everyone else. After several failed attempts at getting a job, he ended up back on the streets begging for food and money. It was during this time that he came across a group of people who introduced him to the dark web. They taught him how to use the Onion router and other software to hide his identity online. Carlos jumped at the opportunity since this seemed like the only way out for him. His first task was to open a cryptocurrency wallet and exchange account. Using fake IDs, he opened accounts on several exchanges and then created multiple email addresses and social media profiles. All these accounts were registered with fake names and addresses from different parts of the world. That way no one would ever connect them all together. As you might have guessed, the Great Recession made people desperate and the perfect targets for scammers. Carlos used his life experiences to con people. He would call businesses pretending to be a representative from the IRS and demand money from them, claiming they had committed tax fraud. He would send emails pretending to be a bank manager, asking clients to update their personal information to avoid account termination. He also engaged in credit card fraud and phishing. It took him a while to build up his confidence and learn the ropes of scamming people online, but soon enough he was raking in huge sums of money daily. Life was good and he even started to forget about his real-life problems. But things took a turn when he met someone special. A new chapter in Carlos's life. Carlos met Maria while scamming people on Facebook. She was a beautiful woman with a kind heart. And like Carlos, Maria had a genuine smile and was full of compassion for others. She worked in sales and was very successful at it. One day she saw a comment on her post from someone named John Doe. John said he needed to borrow $5,000 because he was in a financial emergency. Maria wanted to help him, but she didn't have that kind of money. So she suggested he contact her friend Carlos, who specialized in loans. Of course, Maria had no idea that Carlos was a scammer. She thought he was a businessman since he always used complicated terms like leverage and ROI in their chats. When John contacted Carlos, he told him he could get him the loan he needed, but he had to pay a processing fee first. John agreed and sent him the money. However, once he did, Carlos ghosted him, and he never received the loan or heard from Carlos again. Feeling guilty for what happened to John, Maria confronted Carlos and demanded answers. He lied to her and said he would look into the matter, but he never did. Instead, he blocked her on all platforms and continued scamming people. Maria was furious and wanted revenge. She gathered all the information she had on Carlos and published it online. She told everyone about his scams and warned them not to fall for it. People were shocked and surprised to hear that someone they trusted could be a scammer. They immediately stopped communicating with him and reported him to the authorities. The FBI launched an investigation and eventually arrested Carlos. The arrest and aftermath. The FBI tracked down Carlos to a small apartment in Omaha, Nebraska. They raided the apartment and found a ton of evidence that linked him to the scams. His computer contained thousands of fraudulent emails, and his bank accounts had millions of dollars in suspicious transactions. The FBI also found several fake IDs and passports in his name. Carlos was charged with wire fraud, identity theft, and money laundering. He pleaded guilty to all charges and was sentenced to 15 years in prison, followed by 3 years of supervised release. In addition to the prison sentence, Carlos was ordered to pay back all the money he scammed from people. The judge in the case said that Carlos was one of the most sophisticated scammers he had ever seen. He used his intelligence and charm to con people out of their hard-earned money. The judge also noted that Carlos was a danger to society, and that the only way to protect people from him was to put him behind bars. Carlos's arrest made headlines in Omaha and beyond. People were relieved that the scammer had been caught, but they were also angry that he had evaded the authorities for so long. Many people who lost money to Carlos were upset that they may never recover their funds. Carlos's story is a reminder that scammers are always one step ahead. They use the latest technology and social engineering techniques to trick people into giving them money. It is important to be aware of the different types of scams and to be cautious when dealing with people you don't know, living under a false identity. After serving his 15-year prison sentence, Carlos was released under the supervision of the United States Parole Commission. As part of his parole, he was not allowed to use any electronic devices or access the internet. However, Carlos was determined to make a new start in life. He got a job working construction and saved up enough money to buy a car. He also started attending church and participating in community events. Despite his efforts to turn his life around, Carlos couldn't shake the feeling that something was missing. He missed the excitement and challenges of his old life. And before long, he started using his skills to scam people again. This time, he targeted the church he was attending. He befriended the pastor and stole a significant amount of money from the church's collection plate. He also set up a fake charity organization and conned people into donating money to him. Carlos's actions shocked the community. People couldn't believe that someone who had been given a second chance could do such a thing. The police were able to catch up with Carlos and charge him with theft and fraud. He was sentenced to 5 years in prison, but this time the judge showed no mercy. He denied Carlos parole and ordered him to pay back all the money he stole. In addition, the judge gave him a longer prison sentence to ensure that he would never hurt anyone again. Carlos's story is a cautionary tale about the dangers of living a double life. He was able to successfully hide his true identity for a while, but in the end, his actions caught up with him and he was brought to justice. The moral of this story is that it is important to be honest and authentic in all aspects of your life. Trying to live a double life can lead to deception and ultimately destroy the trust and relationships that are important to us. This is all for today's story. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe for more updates. Also check out some of our other videos which we think you might enjoy too. See you next time.